Welcome to everyone to our state of our city. You know, when I moved out here, I learned that people in Colorado, when there's some weather coming in, they say, well, we need the moisture. I think we've had enough for today, and appreciate that you've all persevered and are here today. I'd like to welcome Emily Martin to come up and lead us in the national anthem.
Just a quick note, I want to thank so much the Centennial Rotary Club, and in particular John Peterson, for all the support that they have given to SOAR Youth and Adult Choir over the years. And I know that we as an organization have thanked you, but I wanted to give you my personal thanks. We are so deeply grateful. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
There was talk that I might have to lead that, and you can all be thankful it wasn't me. Thank you so much, Emily. So I'm here before you because I'm the president of the Centennial Rotary Club, and we put together this event, and thank you all for your sponsorship dollars. We appreciate it very much. When I look at everyone in this room, I realize there's a lot of stories of how people arrived in Colorado. Some were born and raised, many came from somewhere else. I personally came from Pennsylvania, a small town. My dad worked really hard to provide for his family in this small town, but he also worked really hard to support the city, something that all of you do. And when I was a child, I used to think, geez, Dad, can't you stay home and maybe throw the ball with me? I grew up and I realized what he was doing. He was working hard, not only to provide for his family, but to provide for his city and to provide a better future for all of us. So we moved out here in 1998, and we settled in Piney Creek, unincorporated Arapahoe County at the time. And a couple years later, we heard they were going to create a city. I never heard of creating a city from scratch, so I went to a meeting to hear how this was going to happen, and heard about the city and why we needed this city, and it made total sense to me. So I committed to it, and I knocked on a lot of doors and met a lot of my relatively new neighbors and encouraged them to vote for the city. Fortunately, they did, and the city was created in 2001. What I didn't know at the same time is that there were Rotarians in the community that were forming a Centennial Rotary Club, and it was designed to help create an identity for the city, that they have their own service club. Well, I went back to building my business and taking care of my family, and years went by, too many years, but I went to Centennial 101. Anyone who has participated in that, it's a great class. You learn all about the city, and we have such an amazing city. Well, in the course of that class, I sat next to a young woman one night, and she was very excited and very passionate about the Centennial Rotary Club. And she said I needed to come and check out this club. And I did. And I found out all the amazing things this club was doing in the community. I had literally no idea. And I came back for a few more meetings, and I decided, I want to be part of this. I want to, attempt to follow my father's legacy, and let's work hard to give back to the community. So I joined the Rotary Club. About a year went by, and our daughter got her first teaching job. And she was teaching in Aurora at a Title I school. About 96-7% of the kids get free lunches at many difficult circumstances. Well, October came around, and we had one of our Colorado snow events. We do have erratic Colorado weather, as we're all experiencing today. And these kids were walking to school in their shorts, in some cases T-shirts, sandals. They didn't have any winter clothes to wear. And my daughter came home, and she was still living with us at the time, and she said, we got to do something. You got to do something to help these kids. Well, my first reaction was I could write a check. Like, that's often a reaction we have. Write a check to, hopefully they have a PTO, and give them $1,000, and maybe they could come up with a way to help these kids. Next week, I went to the Rotary meeting. I had only been in the club for about a year. And I mentioned this to them, and they said, well, no, we can do a project. And you can lead a project to raise money, and we can help these kids. And so we did. And the project blossomed into a $10,000 project. We bought winter clothes for 72 second graders. Not an easy feat. We got it in their favorite colors and appropriate sizes. We bought 300 some books, culturally relevant books for these kids. And then my daughter said, well, that's great, but you can't possibly just leave this stuff at the school. You need to come in, and you need to get Rotarians to come in and meet with the kids so these kids can see that people who look like me, look like you, Dad, care about them. So I said, well, I'll mention it at the club. Much to my amazement, 25 Rotarians volunteered to be there on a Friday afternoon, many taking off from work. And we had an entire party, per se, where we presented, we had Rotarians reading to the kids. Then we presented all the books, and then we gave the kids all their clothes. And it was truly one of the most gratifying events I had ever been involved with. That night, I was reflecting on it, and I thought about, well, the $1,000 we would have donated versus what Rotary was able to accomplish. And I realized literally I could 10x my impact in the community by participating vigorously in Rotary. And that's what I did. So I was very active in Rotary. And this past year, they gave me the privilege and the honor to be the president of the Rotary Club. My theme was 10x your impact, based on my experience with the project at Crawford Elementary School. Well, what does that look like? Well, in the past year, our foundation, and I should tell you that our club is operated entirely on the funds paid by the members. Our foundation is entirely funded by the funds we collect through various fundraising projects, such as this event. And then 100% of the money that goes into the foundation comes out in projects. Well, this past year, $70,000 has come out for various projects, spread out over about 26 projects during the course of the year. Not bad for a club of 62 people. And as Rotarians, we're very focused on service above self. And some of our favorite projects this year, I would not go through all 26. I don't want to be booed off the stage. But some of our favorite projects this past year, we supported an Afghan family. They had to flee Afghanistan in 2021 when our military pulled out of Afghanistan. The Taliban came looking for the father, and they were going to execute him. And his crime was working for the American military and supporting our troops while they were there. So they fled to the United States with not much more than the clothes on their back. We worked with an organization. We helped them find a place to live. We helped them find health insurance. We helped them find a car. We helped them get a license. Turns out, driving in Afghanistan, and they have a slightly different attitude about some things than we do in the United States. One of our brave Rotarians taught the father how to drive. 9 or 10 months later, no accidents, no tickets, so they're doing all right. But they're building a new life for themselves. We've been helping them, driving them to medical appointments and things like that. The thing about Rotary is it's not writing a check. Rotarians are actively involved, and the Rotarians have been actively involved helping this family. Their kids are attending Cherry Creek schools, and they are literally building a new life for themselves in America. Another project we do international projects. We're creating a piggery in Kenya. One of our members who was out working in the parking lot today comes from Kenya. And the piggery project is going to be in a village with very limited means there. And what's going to happen is this project is going to not only give them food, the villagers, but give them money because they can sell some of the pork that they raise. And we're going to be actively involved the whole way in mentoring them and helping them understand how to run a sustainable business. And this will be sustainable. And we hope with the success of that project, we'll be able to replicate that with other villages in Kenya. Last year, this event, we learned about Back the Blue and the amazing work that Diane Lewis does with that organization supporting law enforcement. And we learned about the dogs. And Diane came and spoke to us, and we knew right away we wanted to support this. Well, we raised the money, and we donated $9,000 to pay for Bear, one of the dogs that's here today, and the equipment for Candace, his person handling him, to safely transport him in a car and in a sheriff's vehicle. And we know that for years to come, this dog, Bear, is going to be helping kids in the Cherry Creek School District, help them calm down and regulate themselves so they can stay in the classroom and learn. And we're very focused on education and assisting kids any way we can to get a good education. So those are just some of the projects that we've done in the past year. And one of the things I've learned as president, standing before the club every week, is that Rotarians are happy people. And in my opinion, they're happy people because they understand the joy of generosity and giving back. And when our Rotarians come into a meeting, all divisive issues are left at the front door. We're there for one reason and one reason only, and that's service above self, to figure out who can we help and how can we help them. As a result of that attitude, unlike many service organizations, we've been able to grow our membership this year and introduce more people to the joy of generosity and service above self. So I look in this room, and I know a lot of you have very busy schedules, but I also know a lot of you are leaders. And maybe you don't have a lot of time to devote to Rotary, but I bet there's people in your organization that might have time and might be looking for an avenue to give back to the community with hands-on service. So we have a new membership option. We call it a corporate membership. A leader can can become a member of the club under this program, and then they can designate 3 people from their organization to participate as actively as they care to in our club. And these people can then learn firsthand, hands-on experience, the projects. They can perhaps create a project, lead a project, and they'll learn the joy of generosity. In the process, they'll pick up organizational skills, leadership skills, collaboration skills. They'll be working with people of all different ages and all different backgrounds. And it's an opportunity for the leaders in this room to get people involved, and for you to 10x a slice of your community money to 10x it in the impact in the community, and in the process, welcome, and in the process, impact your people, the people that are working in your organization. Give them that chance to give back and give them the chance to enhance their own skills. So if you're interested in any membership opportunities with the Rotary Club, I'd love to talk to you. On the table is a couple of my Rotary business cards. I'd love to reach out to you, and we can work together to see how we can 10x your impact, your organization's impact in the community. So thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all of you and everything you do for our community. Thank you. So it's now my privilege to recognize our title sponsor, Arrow, speaking of impacting our community, a great business. And here to talk about Arrow is Ivy Bostrom. Welcome, Ivy.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Centennial Rotarians and community members. It's an honor for us to be here. I know many of you know Arrow Electronics. You probably see our sign at Rockies games, Broncos games. Maybe see our buildings. We always say, go to IKEA and turn right. But for those of you who don't know, Arrow is a Fortune 104 global company with 23,000 employees across the globe. More importantly, we have 2,000 employees here in Centennial, and we wanted to take a moment to thank Rotary for creating such a hospitable community and a community that focuses on service that's made it a privilege to do business here for over a decade. Now, I wanted to tell you something special I learned about my family and Rotary Club. I just learned that my great-great-uncle was a proud Rotarian who would travel the globe and proudly plant a Rotary Club flag in every country that he visited. And my grandpa was also a very proud president of his Rotary Club in Vernal, Utah. So just really great to have that connection, and it's very special to learn that. So I know that you have focused on service, and that is what Arrow focuses on as well, through technology. We serve over 200,000 customers in our global supply chain to develop life-changing technologies and even the everyday technologies that many of you might be wearing or holding in your hand right now. But what Arrow really recognizes is the importance of giving back. I really want to honor all of you for the projects that you have committed to, especially with clean water access. I was reading about some of those WASH programs that have been deployed across the globe. And as a young graduate student at the University of Denver, I also was privileged to be a part of a cohort to travel to Southeast Africa in Malawi and help evaluate a shallow well water system as part of a WASH program there. So I know firsthand the complexities and challenges that we all face when it comes to clean water access. So does Arrow. Arrow is proud to announce a new technology solution where we have partnered with our e-info chips company in India and 2 young entrepreneurs to develop a data collection technology that will reveal if water is in fact safe to drink. And this addresses a solution for over 1.4 billion people in India and eventually billions more worldwide. This is an IoT, sensor-enhanced AI technology, and I am not an expert to tell you exactly what that means, which is why I brought this video along with me to highlight what SAF water is. And SAF means clean and pure in Hindi. So without further ado, please play the video.
Water is the very basic element that has brought life all around us. The word India actually comes from a river. Being in India, we respect water. Water is a part of us. It's all around us and we need to conserve it.
We have lots of problems drinking water and bathing also. If we will bath in that well water means we will get like rashes.
2 billion people do not have access to clean drinking water.
We see this every day. Why not solve this? I think water is actually a basic human right.
Everyone should have access to safe and clean drinking water.
What's happening is people just assume the water quality to be good. They take the water from the water sources, they boil it and they drink. The problem they don't realize is that the water quality after boiling, it's not 100% safe for drinking.
Arrow is a company that has the power to influence good at a global scale, at a scale that few other firms have capacity to do.
We want to monitor the world's water so that no one drinks unsafe water.
So the name of our platform is Saaf Water. Actually, Saaf in Hindi means clean. Saaf water means clean water.
It's a IoT device which we have made. It analyzes numerous quality parameters of water. We use AI to tell how fit the water is for consumption, as well as we suggest them about the purification methods so the water becomes consumable. Water quality would be much more accessible to people.
We will get lot of happiness if the water will come regularly.
Arrow connected us with e-info chip and they were ready to help us from day one.
This is an opportunity to give back to the society using our technology prowess. We ended up providing them design and development of a 4G board, which makes their overall solution go power efficient, miniaturized, real time, fast.
We wouldn't have been able to do that on our own.
We are extremely proud to be part of this. In fact, when we say that we are enriching lives through engineering excellence, given that the world is facing a shortage of water, I think every drop of water makes a difference. Every drop of water counts.
We need to think out of the box. We need to think creatively, and we need to bring in innovations. And I think soft water is playing a very, very catalytic role from the point of view of monitoring, from the point of view of relaying this information. We are very, very excited. Soft water has brought in the electronics and technology in this space of water quality.
In future, we wish to deploy soft water in every village, in every town, in every city. Once we have enough data, we can predict how's the water quality gonna be, so people can be prepared when the water quality will go bad, or they can treat water in appropriate way. We wanted to solve this for ourselves and later for the whole world.
That's quite inspiring, and like I said, they did a much better job of telling you what SAF water is all about. So our goal is to deploy that to billions more, and we're excited to update you along the way. But thank you again so much for having us. It truly is our honor to be headquartered in the great city of Centennial and to be here with Rotarians who are truly committed to service above self. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivy. Yes, clean water is one of the priorities of Rotary International. So now it's my privilege and honor to introduce a man whose impact in the community and beyond is just exceptional. We could have a separate luncheon to review his resume, but he told me it's okay, we can move forward. So it is my privilege and my honor to introduce retired General John Barry and the CEO of Wings Over the Rockies. Welcome, John.
Well, welcome everybody to Wings Over the Rockies. Delighted to have this hosting for the city and certainly on behalf of the mayor. I just want to mention a couple of things about Wings. How many people have been here for the first time? Raise your hand. Oh, not too many. Okay, that's good to see. Of course, the museum we all know about up at the old Lowry Air Force Base, but here we have 15 acres. And with the support of Mike Ronapel, who is the executive director who's here in attendance, and the commissioners for the airport, we've been able to build this campus. And this is the Blue Sky Gallery for Aviation. We built a school for Colorado Skies Academy, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all as a charter focused on project-based learning. And right now, we're planning to build a food hall out here to bring people out for entertainment and as well as for food. And then hopefully at some future point, build a Black Sky Gallery for space. So this is unique to the nation in so many different ways. I don't know too many museums who have 15 acres, so we're delighted to have you. But I just want to mention real quickly that we offer pathways for young people. So help us communicate this word. We offer free flights for kids 8 to 18. They get a free $275 online ground school. At the 15, they can take the written exam for the FAA to get their license. They get their money back, $165, and then we have $250,000 worth of flight scholarships every single year that we offer to. This year it was 24 students at $12,000 a pop. We do the same thing for drones. Kids get their license for drones, air traffic control. That airplane over there was built by students. 80% of that airplane was built by students. I had the privilege of flying and testing it, got over 45 hours. And by the way, it's for sale. Anybody wants to buy it. So, and actually the kids are starting to build a second one. And we're also going to start a new program for, as I mentioned, air traffic control. But the main reason for my being up here today is to introduce our mayor. So let me give you a couple of things to think about, if I may. First of all, Stephanie Pico has been a great friend of the museum, and we're so delighted. She participates in our activities, and we're so appreciative of her support. But after now she's in her second term. She first elected in 2018, as we all know. The fact that she's been a member of the National League of Cities, not only on the board of directors, but also the presidential platform and the NLC's executive committee since 2021. She remains an active member of the Centennial and Colorado communities, as we all know, in committees and commissions and boards and state, regional, and local levels. One of the things that I'm really proud of is that it gives her an opportunity to lead. And we're privileged to have her as our mayor here, especially the chance to protect and enhance the governmental structures, the principles that have founded the great city of Centennial, as young as it is, and certainly from the commitment to our city has not floundered. Now, some of you know that last year I mentioned I took Stephanie up for a flight. I think she really had a good time. A little bossy, though. Turn left, turn right, okay, fine, but she did great, and we really had a good time, and the fact that she is, again, supportive of our efforts, particularly for our young people, really speaks volumes. And her husband, Dr. Jim, certainly from the standpoint of the kids, they've moved here since 2001. They raised their children, Austin and Connor, both graduates of Cherry Creek School. And I think some of you know that Stephanie also was a teacher in Cherry Creek for over 10 years, which was hard, close to my heart since I was Aurora superintendent for 7 years. But besides being a strong supporter of us, the Colorado Skies Academy, the school we have, and the fact that she's flown, leaders come in different ways and shapes and sizes, but leaders are visionaries. They're meant to be visionaries with a poorly developed sense of fear and no concept of the odds against them, thank God. But they make the impossible happen, and they provide the sky in which others may soar. And that's a fitting quote for what we're doing today. But I get to tell you a personal story. Now, Jim's very protective of his wife, so I found this story out. Jim is walking in the neighborhood, and one day, a traveler on the road comes up and asks him, "Does Mayor Pico live up here?" And Jim looks at him and says, "Are you a relative?" "No." Jim asked him, "Are you a friend of hers?" He said, "No." "Is she expecting you?" He said, "No." And then he looks him straight in the eye and says, "Never heard of her." Well, we've all heard of Stephanie Pico. We've all heard that she's our mayor. She does great things. I like to say, as I said last year, she's bold, she's decisive, she's courageous, and has visions of fire for this wonderful city. Ladies and gentlemen, our mayor, Stephanie Pico.
Wow. I don't know what to say after he does that. So thank you. Thank you, General Barry. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. And thank you to the Wings Over the Rockies for having us here today. I think this is one of our best facilities that we have in our community. You see it expand all the time. You see everybody enjoying different events here. So it's really great to be back here. And I wish we could have had the doors open and had the whole view going. But that'll just make you come back another time so that you can see all of that when it's in its splendor. So I also want to thank the Centennial Rotary Club. All of this is put on by tremendous volunteers, and they work so hard to make it exceptional every year. So I really appreciate all the efforts that they do. And I do have a few guests that I'd like to introduce. So first up, I would like to introduce and congratulate our Mrs. Centennial, Natalie Oliver Atherton. A few weeks ago, she was just crowned Mrs. Colorado. So we're moving up and heading to nationals. So good luck to you in doing that endeavor. And we love having you here today. Thank you. I'd also appreciate all the elected officials that have come out from outside of Centennial to be here and join us today. So if you're an elected official from another, either from the county or from another board, could you please stand up and be recognized? I would love to call everybody out by name, but I can't see from up here. So, I thought I would. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I'd also like to take the time to introduce our city manager, Matt Sturgeon. And thank him and the city staff for all of the support that they not only provide us for events like this, but throughout the entire year. Our city council appreciates it so much, and our citizens do as well. So thank you to all of you. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce my fellow council members and recognize this great team that we have working for the city of Centennial. I do personally realize how fortunate I am to work with a group of fellow elected officials that put the city first and dedicate the time and energy it takes to make sure that our citizens know we are working for them. So with that, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Don Sheehan, Marlo Alston, Mike Sutherland, Tammy Maurer. You guys please stand when I call you so that people can see you. Mayor Pro Tem Richard Holt, Councilmember Kristen Sweetland, and Councilmember Robin Carnes. So thank you guys. And of course, Councilmember Candace Moon. Councilmember Moon this year marks the end of her term as a sitting city council member. She has served 2 years, 2 4-year terms for the city, and we'd love to recognize her work that she's done. She's been a steady voice and a dedicated leader for our community, and even prior to being an elected official, she served as the spouse of an elected official for 10 years, and it didn't even scare her off from running. So, and even before that, Candace worked to help create Centennial. She was part of the group of people that were out there working and campaigning to make Centennial a city, and she has brought to our council a wealth of expertise, and she has also been a very strong voice and an advocate for her district. So I did ask Councilmember Moon, can you stand, please? Where'd she go? I lost, there she is. Thank you very much. And I did ask Councilmember Moon to take some time and say a few words about what it's been like for her to be a city council member in Centennial. So I hope you'll watch the video.
We've been in the community with scouts and school and everything, so we were not strangers to the community, and we were very active, not just because of the service to the city, but just in our neighborhoods and in our schools. People really need to know that they're being heard, and at the local level, you hear this, and you hear people tell you this, and then you believe it, because it's not that they're just your neighbors or friends, but they're the people that make things happen. You see the results of what you've done quickly. I like the fact that we did our roadside improvements. It just makes our arterials look so much better. One of the things I first campaigned on was walkability, snow removal. We've come a long way. We remove snow, even in the residential areas. I'm happy that we're able to provide services that keep our city looking good and keep our citizens happy. People talked about wanting trails, you know, getting the improvements to the Lone Creek Trail, having Highline Canal become a conservatory. These are two of the areas that really mark the city. I think, wow, people drive through, they go, this must be a fun place to live. Housing that's affordable, that's attractive, so that people who want to live here can. I would love to see Centennial kind of be like a city I grew up in, where at the time I thought it was awful to have my teacher live across the street from me. But then I realized the benefits of having my teacher live across the street from us growing up. I would love to see us become that community that is that connected on that level, where we know that we have homes that people can afford to live if they come in and they're working, you know, just graduating from college, they can afford to live in Centennial. I love hearing people say they love living in Centennial. When I meet someone new and they're new to Centennial. They moved here from another state. They're just like, this is fantastic.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember Moon, for all your work for the city. We appreciate it. So as I was contemplating the theme for this year's State of the City, I wanted to frame this year's conversation in the perspective that we in Centennial, we run our city with a similar mindset to how you all run your businesses. You are our wonderful sponsors, our wonderful partners, and I know that what you do is what we do. We put our customers first, and our citizens are our customers. It is in the best interest of our customers that we leverage our strengths, embrace our opportunities, highlight our advantages, and create a resilient city. In other words, we soar. And so by doing so, we are able to deliver on our vision of being a connected community where neighborhoods matter, education is embraced, businesses are valued, and innovation is absolute. So strength in any organization comes from a strong foundation, and we have been very fortunate to have a series of former elected officials that have really worked to create a unique city and that has stayed true to the principle of limited government. So if you are a former elected official for the City of Centennial, if you have ever sat on a board or commission for the City of Centennial, would you please stand and be recognized? And a quick shout out to former Mayor Randy Pye. As elected officials, you really need a highly motivated and dedicated staff to support all of your efforts. And Centennial, again, has been awarded the Gallup Exceptional Workplace Award for the 7th consecutive year, and we continue to be the only governmental entity to receive this honor. It is something that sets us apart and strengthens us in the workforce. So as you look around this room, it's easy to see where the real strength comes from in our community. Our strong community partners, our strong businesses, and the people that take part in providing our community with educational opportunities, recreation, libraries, and public safety services that have built and support Centennial. The diversity of our population and industries are key factors for stability and growth, not only for Centennial, but for the entire region. When it comes to business, we work to find ways to ensure that Centennial remains business-friendly and competitive. Understanding the needs of the business community is imperative, whether it's struggles with workforce development, housing, or the regulatory environment. So I had the pleasure this year of being invited to join the Colorado Business Roundtable Board, and I proudly represent the government arm of that board as it engages with business and education and government. And certainty is one thing I have found that we all appreciate and benefit from, and I believe this video highlights that need in Colorado.
What a business needs, and it can work with all different regulatory environments, all different tax environments. But what you want running a business is some stability. You know what the playing field's all about. You can make your hiring and your investment decisions based upon that. It's a stability system, not just tax and regulatory, but simple rule of law that again helped enable the start of the Industrial Revolution, first in the United Kingdom and then in the United States and ultimately around the world. But a stable and thoughtful tax and regulatory environment are essential to that.
From an income tax standpoint, obviously individuals and businesses care deeply about the taxes they pay, and so that's important. I think from a business standpoint, we also care deeply about the regulatory environment in which we operate in Colorado and what that is like. Is it pro-business or not pro-business, and is there more of it or less of it? And so I think that's really important. And then, lastly, obviously as business leaders and owners, the total cost that it takes to operate a business in a particular place is important.
One of the issues that we find the most important for Colorado is to make sure that we keep a competitiveness agenda, which means a tax and regulatory system that helps Colorado retain companies, grow companies, and have a vibrant economy.
Colorado, historically, especially coming out of the last Great Recession, was a top economy in the nation. We've been ranked in the top. Best state for job growth. We've had industry growth across the board. However, in the last several years, that's been threatened. We see an onslaught of new taxes and fees. Headed into 2023, we're going to have over $1.5 billion in new taxes and fees that business, especially small business, is going to have to grapple with and address.
Recently, the Biden administration passed an executive order on project labor agreements on federal projects above $35 million. This is really bad for merit shop companies like ours that are not union, because the project labor agreement basically assures that all that work is going to be done by union contractors. If you look at the amount of federal work that's done in this state with our military bases and airports and federal buildings, we don't have the union membership or quantity of tradespeople that be required to do all that work. So what's going to happen in Colorado is we're going to have to invite outside non-residents of Colorado to complete that work. That's not good business for Colorado. I've challenged our representatives to actually think about this and the overall impacts of having project labor agreements on federal projects above $35 million. It's not fair for people like our business, RK Industries, that pay taxes, that develop people through our apprenticeship programs and have been in this market since the 70s. And then all of a sudden we're not qualified to build these projects when we're the largest mechanical contractor in this region with the most qualified talent and the safest workforce.
Well, what businesses need is they need consistency, and they need to really have confidence in the regulatory environment that they're working in. And I think a long time ago, when Colorado made a decision to have diversification in its economic infrastructure here in the state of Colorado and not rely on a single industry, decisions were made to be business friendly. One of the biggest decisions was actually building Denver International Airport. The fact that that airport went in was what really set off the economy in Colorado and allowed us to become global.
We have an excellent opportunity here in Colorado to really help drive a clean energy transition and do it in a way that's smart, thoughtful, and deliberate. And so I think that's really exciting. We have an opportunity to do well and do good at the same time.
So regulatory policy is a critical component for the natural gas and oil industry. We are a highly technical industry, and so we're highly regulated as well. And so we need to have very clear, certain regulations in order to operate and get permits and be able to produce here in Colorado. If we don't have that regulatory certainty, just like any other industry, that certainty can really drive location decisions. It can really drive capital investment decisions here in the state. And so if we don't have the regulatory certainty that we need, we can miss out on some of those things and be less competitive as a state as it relates to our industry.
But it's critical to our state to have something that's fair for business and not overload businesses with unfair regulation. It's also important to provide affordable housing for people that want to work and live in this state. And one thing that we lack in Colorado is enough affordable housing. We've quickly become one of the highest cost of living states for inland states within the United States. Denver used to be a place that was relatively affordable, but now it's being noted as one of the higher cost places to come and work and live because of this housing that we're facing, the housing costs. And one thing I think we can do as a state is not tax more to create affordable housing, but it's use existing tax money to help create affordable housing in many of our markets.
I think what's really important for policymakers to understand, and I would also lump in there education leaders and providers as well, is the dynamic pace of change that we're seeing in the world of work. It's something that a few people can really grasp and get their minds around. And because we can no longer try and predict the future, what we need to do is be responsive to these dynamically changing world in a much faster way. And so that's the big opportunity, is to make sure that policymakers and education leaders understand the speed of business and understand how to tap into that, and how to make sure that they're continuing to be relevant and moving in unison with that speed of business. And the only way to do that is to partner with business and to stay connected and close with business.
We're excited that we've pulled together such tremendous partners from academia, business, community, and government as part of Colorado Business Roundtable, and we invite you to join us.
It's been a great experience to be a part of Cobart. You can see the quality of people that we get to work with, and I look forward to being able to continue to work with them to come up with ideas to help troubleshoot and problem solve in our community. And I think our council members would agree that the opportunities that we've had to participate with Cobart have allowed us to gain further insight into the challenges that our businesses face, and that it's very valuable for us to do so, and it's time well spent. I am very proud that Cobart is a place where business and capitalism are a force for good. So opportunities. Your strength can provide you with some momentum to soar, but we all know that momentum can fluctuate. So it is important to capitalize on the opportunities that present themselves in order to keep moving forward. So our council has dedicated time to strategic planning, and that has helped us set a course. It has helped us to have the ability to adjust when needed, and it has also ensured that we have the means necessary to take advantage of opportunities so that we do not lose our momentum. So confidence in our fiscal health of our city brings certainty that we can continue to provide the exceptional city services while looking for those strategic opportunities and that continue to support our community. Our economic development team has continued to work on ways to incentivize and revitalize our business corridors. We have spent time working with citizens to identify their expectations, and you can see great successes by finding the right new business that goes in the right location, that refreshes, and a tired location. So think about the Denver Biscuit Company, My Neighbor Felix, Basketball Social, Big Blue Swim School. We have many neighborhood breweries that all of our local people get to enjoy, and we're very proud to say that we are home now to 2 different distilleries. We have Downslope and Barrel and Branch. So all of these things help bring our community together, and our city's qualities as nimble and innovative and a collaborative partner have resulted in new opportunities like the Westray Development Project. It's a 3-tower mixed-use project that is right across from Fiddler's Green, and it is the city's first business improvement district. We also have an innovative concept that is coming that it has the potential to have a 2-acre rooftop commercial agricultural greenhouse and on top of a 2-story center for sporting tournaments, and that is taking place in the district. It's exciting to see how Westray and the district are getting started and coming out of the ground. And in fact, you will see that there are over 600 residential units being built in the district right now, the Hensley and the Keene. And they should be ready to start housing people by the end of this year. So with these exciting projects allow us to have the diversity and growth while continuing to improve our fiscal sustainability. Our council is proud of the fact that Centennial has remained debt-free, and that we have stayed that way and are still able to provide innovative and customer-based solutions. So since 2020, we have added many new ways to communicate with our constituents, as you all have had to do with your customers, and I'm happy to announce the release of our new app, My Centennial. So I know an app doesn't sound like all that fancy, it's maybe not sound all that innovative, but this app has got the guts behind it to prove it. So this is a GIS-based system that allows individuals to see and compare how many other people have reported the same incident going on in the city. It also allows everybody to get the same simultaneous updates on anything that's being worked on. So with this, it allows people in the community or our contractors to update photos, update notes, and it goes out to all the people who are concerned about the exact same thing. So it allows and makes sure that our Citizen Response Center can put the appropriate tools in place to determine what type of response we need for any request. So the responsiveness and interaction of this app will relay to our customers that we appreciate their engagement with us, and we want to thank them for helping keep Centennial a better place. So we want our customers to be reassured that as part of their choice to be a part of Centennial was the right one. And all of us on City Council recognize that the importance that public safety plays in making sure that people feel that they're in the right place. So our ability to be safe at work, to be safe at play, and to live in our community is paramount when it comes from an entire network of supporting partners. Centennial Hospital, Centura Health, the Arapahoe County's new public health department. All of these people work together to help support our physical and our mental health. And at this time, I'd like to thank and call out the South Metro Fire District for being one of our being on the forefront of first responders in our community. I'd like to introduce Chief Baker. I don't know where he's sitting. There he is. Thank you. And if you are one of our first responders, would you please stand and let us recognize and thank you? All of you guys. Yeah, you guys too. Yeah, the sheriffs too. The City of Centennial partners with the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office to provide our law enforcement services and beyond. So Centennial has a great partnership with the ACSO, and we continue to fund this as a priority in our community. We've been able to expand our mental health co-responder program this year, and we now have 6 clinicians that work hand in hand with our deputies to ensure that the appropriate resources are being dispatched for calls. Centennial is also extremely proud to support the efforts of the ACSO as they reach out into our community and connect with our citizens, especially our youth. So you'll see them at all of our city events. The Mounted Patrol is a favorite that you will see, and we also love those therapy ponies. So our support for our school resource officer program has had a very significant impact in building trust and relationships between the ACSO and the students within our community. Our SRO deputies are great at supporting both all high schools, middle schools, elementary schools in both the Littleton Public School District and the Cherry Creek School District. I do feel a little sorry for the SROs that don't get quite as much attention as these guys. Last year, you may recall, meeting Rex and Zeke here at the State of the City. And thanks to the support that you've heard from the Centennial Rotary Club and the amazing efforts of K9 Back the Blue and Diane Lewis especially, I'm proud to introduce 3 new 4-legged SROs to the team. We have K9 Riley, and then K9 Otis and Bear. So K9 Bear will be assisting Deputy Candace Grace in the Cherry Creek School District. And I'd like to invite Sheriff Tyler Brown, Deputy Gray, and Bear up to the stage. Oh, here we go. He's going to take a little parade walk through the whole place so you guys know. Take your pictures. Gotten so big in just a month.
I know. They grow fast. Well, Deputy Gray's making her way up here. I just would like to extend my thanks to Centennial City Council, all the members of Centennial Rotary Club, and all the people who donated to this specific animal, and how important it is to our school-age children to stay engaged in their educational process. I also want to recognize the Cherry Creek School District and Superintendent Chris Smith, and the Littleton Public School District and Superintendent Brian Ewert for their willingness to trust us with their students on a daily basis and providing their support. This partnership would not be possible without all of you and the donations that you guys give to these programs. Unfortunately, when these deputies get assigned a therapy dog, they kind of lose their personal identity. They don't become Deputy Gray anymore. They are just the deputy who walks whichever dog they have assigned to them. And so if you would like to be part of 5 million likes or follows on social media. We are always taking donations. I know Diane is always taking donations to add to this program, and it has truly been tremendous. I mean, these dogs go into schools, and on the first day, they start to provide mental health therapy to students that are affected on a day-to-day basis and gets them back engaged in the classroom. So it's my honor to have Deputy Gray and Bear come up here, and we will swear Bear in as a deputy sheriff and get him in the schools and helping out. And so I also want to recognize our SRO program in the back, the deputies that are here, and Sergeant Matt Cleveland, who puts a lot of time and effort into these programs to make sure that they're successful. So thank you to all of them. I have to trick him with treats. All right, are you ready? Raise your right paw. Oh, there you go. Say, I, Bear, do swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the laws of the State of Colorado, and will faithfully perform my duties as a therapy dog for the Cherry Creek School District to the best of my ability. He says yes, so he's good. Thank you, Mayor Pico. Appreciate it.
Very much. Pictures with them later. And if you didn't see the pop-ups over here, the full size, bigger than full size. Well, maybe when they're grown, they'll be that big, but go get your pictures taken with them. We thank them for everything that they do, and especially thanking, the Centennial Rotary Club. As I mentioned, they found out about this program last year, donated $9,000 to support Bear and to support Deputy Gray and having him in her home. Yes, she does get to take him home at night. And also, I cannot say enough about Back the Blue Canine. They are a Centennial charity that has done outstanding work to provide for these animals, and not just the canines that are in the SRO program, but the canines that do the work in our community that keep our deputies safe and keep our citizens safe. They protect lives, and they do it every day. I'd also just want to have you guys mark your calendars, again, as it was mentioned, 4 million likes on Facebook. So if you want to have some efforts with helping this great charity, Canine Back the Blue is having their Rex Run on August 26th, and they'd be happy to have you guys out and have them join them. It was a lot of fun last year. I think they raised $33,000 during the day, too, at an event in the park. So please come out and join them for this year. So rounding out some of the other areas of opportunity that you will see moving forward this summer, Centennial is working with the Centennial Arts and Cultural Foundation to reach out within our community to bring an Art in Public Places project featuring local artists and citizen judges put together for the first time. Currently, there's a call for artists out that is to create more of our traffic boxes across the city. And so you can look for an announcement as to the winner of that at the Centennial Under the Stars this summer. We also have another investment in Centennial Center Park, which is a local favorite and nationally recognized amenity. And it will be expanded to offer greater opportunities for kids of all ages to enjoy new aspects of engagement. And we have a number of transportation projects in the works, including one that you may have noticed, the replacement of the Arapahoe Road Bridge. It was a 75-year-old structure, which had definitely seen its better days. So I'd like to take some time to share with you some of the goings-on in Public Works and how we will continue to serve our customers.
My name is Jeff Dankenbring. I work for the Public Works Department, and I am the Public Works Director. Here at Public Works, we fix potholes, we sweep streets, we move snow, and we make sure that the traffic signals work as well. We repair bridges, we widen streets, we repair the pavement, take care of traffic signs. Our priority in Public Works is to provide a safe and efficient means to convey people and goods across the city. Public Works is doing a lot of different things in order to set the city up for future success with our transportation project. The projects that the community are currently seeing, there's two major ones, and As you go through the summer, you'll see a bunch more come online as well. The two major ones that we have going on, we are almost complete with the Centennial Center Park expansion. And so that's been underway for a little over a year now, and it's something that we're very excited about and coming to a conclusion. The other major project that you will see is the Arapahoe Road Bridge replacement, and that's just east of University on Arapahoe Road. And that's been in the works. I know that the structure that we're removing at that particular location was 75 years old. And so to have a brand new bridge at that location was a desperate need, but it's something that will be very evident as you drive down the Arapahoe Road corridor and see it being constructed right now. In the future, in the coming months and over the summer, you'll see additional projects coming online that may include a widening project on Orchard Road. It may include a trail implementation on Holly Street. And so there's several other projects that we're looking at going to construction with and definitely getting implemented within our transportation. The roadside improvements that we completed to date is that we have looked at Arapahoe Road between Broadway and University. On the north and south side, we have looked at the Dry Creek corridor, particularly between Washington Street, which is the western Centennial boundary, and going all the way to University as well. On the east end of town, we've actually done Shenango Drive all the way to Himalaya. And this year, there's going to be some additional ones that will be out there for construction, including the west side of Himalaya, north and south of Shenango Drive, and then the corridor along Jordan Road. And so we're excited about getting them in place and continuing to beautify the city with them improvements. The city partners with anybody that we can. I think our biggest partner ends up being PSIMSWA, the Southeast Metro Stormwater Authority. As you can imagine, there's drainage and water quality, erosion control on every project we have. So they tend to be our biggest partner. But we partner with our adjacent neighbors. We partner with Arapahoe County. We partner with the City of Littleton, City of Greenwood Village, City of Lone Tree, City of Aurora, Douglas County on projects. DRCOG is a big partner. Denver South, we partner with them a lot of times on projects as well. So in a lot of our projects, there's metro districts set up and they need improvements within their area. And so we'll partner with them in order to provide that infrastructure, the transportation needs that they need within their jurisdiction. The city has been very successful in working with DRCOG and securing transportation improvement program grants that are actually federal dollars coming to the city. And the 4 projects that we're looking at securing for them grants include Colorado Boulevard in between Arapahoe Road and Dry Creek Road. The next one is the Havana and Easter intersection. The third one would be the Lone Tree Creek underpass, and the Arapahoe Road side pass is the last project. They'll be implementing new sidewalks in between Parker Road and I-25. With the 4 projects that are currently in the process of getting approved through the DRCOG process, we're looking at saving the city over $29 million. One of the goals of City Council is to have connected neighborhoods. And so one of the things that came out of the pandemic was making sure that we have the facilities in place. And so it's something that we have geared up for, that's something that we have pushed forward with, and that's something that we continue to implement on a daily basis. But that's been an annual goal, is to improve our trails, improve our sidewalks, improve our bike lanes, our bike paths, everything that we can in order to make sure that we're capturing all these different modes of transportation as well.
So if anyone of our partners from the Stormwater Authority have to leave, we will understand. I'm also vice chair of the flood district, so I think we're good. We'll be fine. So thank you all. And so one of the advantages that helps us soar, continue to soar, is without a doubt our people. The people we all work with day in and day out within not only our partner organizations, but our businesses, and within our neighborhoods, and even at community meetings. It's really extraordinary. So our neighborhoods have really come together, and our outreach to them has expanded. So this has been seen by this excitement generated by several of our neighborhood events, in which we are expanding this year. It's also been seen by the level of interest that we have had from community members in what's going on and happening in the city. Citizens are signing up for boards and commissions, and they're participating in our outreach programs on housing and development. But I'm really proud of the recent engagement we saw from our citizens when they stepped up to join council in pushing back against the legislative overreach of Senate Bill 213. The state's attempt to undermine a century of local decision-making regarding land use and completely gut home rule authority was unprecedented. Key to defeating many of the intrusive aspects of this bill were our citizens who showed up for town halls, who emailed their legislators, and they fought beside City Council for what we had expressed was a one-size-fits-all, top-down approach against local government. So I'm very happy to say that our work paid off and that Senate Bill 213 died in its return to the Senate on Monday. But what we have before us now is an opportunity to change the narrative and make local control one of the most important things to Colorado's citizens. As we have all felt the impacts of the state's fixes on your local property tax and your property rights, I would ask that you all continue to pay attention, lean in, and stand up for our communities as more actions are debated over the next year, because it will be back. But speaking of standing up for your community, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize an individual that has been fighting for Centennial since the beginning and has been a partner in helping us educate our citizens, improve our council's performance, and has encouraged us to be proud of the exceptionalism that is Centennial. Our partner, who will be celebrating 20 years with the city of the Centennial, Mr. Robert Widener, our city attorney. I'd like to just present you with this. I know. We appreciate it very much. And I know, I think I turned off my mic. There we go. I know that for myself and for all of us on council, we really appreciate the counsel that you have given us and provided us, along with your entire firm at Widener and Durant. Thank you very much. So some great advantages that Centennial has to offer, not surprisingly, come from our partners that offer top-performing experience for our entire region, well beyond Centennial's borders. So I want to take a little bit of time to shout out for them some of the excitement that they have continuing to generate in our community and why our citizens love living here. So Arapahoe Libraries, they continue to be a great community partner, and they're a community favorite. They support all of our community events, and they continue to come up with more innovative ways to connect and reach our community members. We look forward to all the exciting things they have going on in the future. This fall, the Littleton Public School District will be opening the EPIC campus, and it will be epic. With 1,000 students already registered, it promises to provide huge workforce development advantages and create pathways and skill development for students getting ready to choose whatever career or path they want. The Cherry Creek School District is celebrating the 4th year of the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus, and last year alone, students earned 772 certification in the fields of healthcare, technology, home building, and more. So you can see how impactful these programs are to our students and our employers. So if you're one of our corporate partners out there and you have not toured these campuses, I am sure there are people here from either school district that would be happy to arrange that for you. And so you can find them afterwards and make sure you get something scheduled. They are both well worth the trip. And, of course, I want to thank our partners in recreation, Arapahoe Parks and Rec District, and South Suburban Parks and Rec District. With the continued expansion of parks, trails, and facilities, it is easy to see why families and individuals continue to love living here. Arapahoe County is working on an $18 million expansion to the Dove Valley Regional Park. We all work closely together to design connections, programs, and facilities that are complementary to one another and allow us to expand our reach across the entire city. So lastly, resilience. It's the final piece of our ability to soar. And by resilience, I mean more than just your ability to sit through this entire speech. I mean the ability for us to all look back, evaluate our actions, and ensure that we are better equipped the next time we face a challenge or an adversity. So we've all had to do that for the past few years, and hopefully many of our organizations are a little better off for it. But a couple of areas I'd like to highlight where Centennial has worked to build our resiliency. One, addressing homelessness. So with our partners at Arapahoe County, Centennial has hired a homeless coordinator that has the goal of being proactive to the individuals who are unsheltered within our community. The program is designed to be in a very intentional way to address this issue, and we are looking for safe and compassionate ways to address the needs of the individuals experiencing homelessness in Centennial. We also are looking for ways to address what has been identified as kind of two different crises that hopefully will have a very similar resolution. Our senior and youth isolation became very apparent during COVID. So I'm thrilled to announce a new partnership, the Centennial YMCA Center of Generations. It is a partnership between the City of Centennial and the YMCA. It's located at the streets at South Glen, and it offers the opportunity to activate a space that is designed for both seniors populations and youth populations. So we have a little video for it. I'd like to take a look. The City of Centennial is excited to announce a partnership with the YMCA for the Center of Generations. It's a complex that'll be available to our citizens at the streets at South Glen. It'll have activities for both youth and seniors, and some of those activities will be contemplated to be together and some activities will be separated. But we're excited to have the chance to activate a great center in our community.
It is called the Center of Generations because what we decided to do was bring the youth and the seniors together to create a place where they can hang out, do activities, and kind of create their own sense of belonging.
The Center of Generations is a concept that we've had a lot of requests for in the community from both our seniors and then from our youth. And so what a great opportunity to combine the two together. And with the support of the YMCA, we can offer the kind of programming that meets the needs for both at the same time. And we're very excited about having the YMCA be a partner because they have a great history of programming, a great history within the community, and they have a very recognizable name that allows people to have that certain amount of confidence and faith and trust in what they'll be offering for our residents.
At the new center, we are going to have a variety of different social activities that will include a coffee bar, a kitchen. We will also include a cozy corner for book reading. We will also have bars and bands to be able to do fitness classes for older adults in the Silver Sneakers realm. And for the teens, we will have an esports center that will have big screen TVs and controls to be able to do sports programming for kids. We will have a Make It, Take It center where we'll have a 3D printer. We'll have a place for the kids to be able to do social media, tapings for TikTok.
In the City of Centennial, we know that neighborhoods matter. And we also know that the impact for the community is to have places for neighborhood people to gather. For the City of Centennial to have a youth and a senior center, it means a lot for us to have been able to expand that outreach into our community, but still do it in a way that sticks to our core values as a city of being someone who partners with either the private sector or nonprofits in order to accomplish the goals of our city and our city council. It's exciting to have the opportunity to work with the youth in an area that maybe supports our school districts, supports an opportunity for the kids to further engage and enhance their education in that area, their leadership skills, and then it also gives us the opportunity to engage our seniors further.
We are looking forward to serving the citizens of Centennial, so please join us at South Glen Shopping Center this summer.
we're very excited about this project, and we will be having our grand opening for it. I believe it's June 7th. So hope you guys can stop by, take a look at it, and see what it has to offer you and your families. So as we head into the rest of summer, please look for things in your communities that are even more exciting. Many of your neighborhoods have taken advantage of our neighborhood grant programs and are making movie nights, social gatherings, and community projects a way of bringing their community together. And keep a lookout for city-sponsored neighborhood events and celebrations. We have our signature Centennial event is the Centennial Under the Stars in August. So we look forward to seeing you all there. In closing, it's been a pleasure to have you all here today. Thank you so much. It's great to provide you some insight into how Centennial uses strengths, opportunities, advantages, and resiliency to provide our citizens, our customers, with a city that is ready to soar. So thank you for being here today. I just want to give a quick special thank you to my husband, Jim, for all of his support. And he really appreciates the fact that staff puts my face on that big billboard so that he can see me once in a while. So thank you. So I hope you have enjoyed your lunch provided by Lunch Wired, and thank you again to our sponsors for making this event possible, Wings Over the Rockies, Centennial Rotary Club. We appreciate everything that you've done for us today and everything that you do throughout our community. Thank you all.